boom, boom. All right. Episode 25 with Ernesto Garcia, Dad's House. Please subscribe, follow us, share our podcast, our content here.
And tell us what you think. What are we sucking at? What are we good at? Why do you watch us if you watch us? Let's.
You know what you suck at, Ernesto? The rates that you've been giving all of 2023.
No way, man. So I don't give the rates. The all kinds of other things affect rates. I wish I did.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about rates. I hear the interest rates are going to be cut 6 times in 2024. I want to get your opinion, your thoughts. I want to share mine.
Hi, Rob.
Are we heading into a recession in 2024? Dad's House podcast. You know, I have 5 kids. You have how many? 2 that you know of. But I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about the Ernesto Garcia household, the Garcia household. What's your plan for 24 with the family, with the wife? Any big things planned? I want to share what I have planned for my kids. They're not aware of it, but I'm excited to share that. Maybe they'll watch this. And you wanted to talk about the automakers of Detroit, Michigan.
Specifically the United Auto Workers.
United Auto Workers.
We'll talk about that. It's interesting.
Sean Payne, I guess he negotiated a great increase for all the...
his name is Sean Payne. He's the president of the UAW, yeah.
I love it. So you're excited about that. And you know what I'm excited about? Rate cuts. So let's get into it. The word around the campfire is that there is a expected 6%, I'm sorry, 6 different rate cuts coming in 2024.
And so what people are saying is that the Fed is going to cut their rate 6 times. It's like big news.
By the way, where is that information coming from?
That's coming from...
Not the Fed.
That's coming from ING Bank and Barclays Bank. Actually, Barclays is saying there will be 4 rate cuts, and ING is saying that there will be 6 rate cuts. That's what they're prognosticating. That's what they're saying they think is going to happen. But as far as I could tell, and I tried to do as much research as I could on this, they're the only ones. If you look at what the Fed is saying, and I pulled up, and there are actual Fed quotes in there from the month of November and December. They're mostly saying, if I just put up these six quotes in one little synopsis, they're mostly saying, nah, we're either gonna hold these freaking rates as long as it takes for us to know that inflation is down and staying at 2%, right? And so they're saying, if one person on the board is saying, if we get there, then I could see potentially some cutting starting to happen. Others, the rest of them, are either saying, we're going to leave them as they are until we get and stay at that 2%. And Fed Powell, Fed Powell, the boss is saying, guess what? It's premature. We're all talking very premature. And this is on December 1st. He said it's premature for us to be saying that we're going to cut anything. We're going to maintain restrictive policy as long as it takes, meaning we're going to maintain our rate as long as it takes.
So is it safe to say that Ernesto doesn't believe there will be 6, how about 4 rate cuts?
To be honest with you, if I had to put a number on it, I would say maybe 2, maybe 3 rate cuts. Yeah. But that is such an amateur estimation.
Yeah.
Because I wrote this down. I was like, so why is it so difficult to tell?
Yeah.
Right? Because even if we step into recession,
there's a lot of factors that happen.
Tons. There's the idea of recession. How tough a recession will we step into? Most people say it's going to be a light recession. If so, there may not be any need to do anything on the part of the Fed. Then we have high employment numbers, better than expected as of today, even though earlier in the week we have numbers. As of today, more people are employed than were expected to be employed. That sounds great for the average worker, not so great from a Fed and inflation standpoint. Because the Fed, actually, believe it or not, they want more of you to be unemployed.
But is it possible that these great employment numbers are just seasonal jobs? I mean,
some of them are, but you also have the United Auto Workers went back to work because they negotiated the contract. The actors went back to work. They negotiated their contracts. So some of that is built into it. But bottom line, the more employment that there is, the less incentive the Fed has to drop their rate.
We need to get more contractors back to work, more loan officers back to work.
Oh, yeah,
and sure. More us real estate agents, professionals, let's back to work.
Let's stay on the complexity of it. I don't want to bore everybody out there, but the complexity of the Fed's decision depends on recession. By the way, China, Germany, 2 of the biggest economies
already in a recession.
We have very low unemployment. We still have high interest rates, but even with the high interest rates, high costs of goods out there, we have a jump in consumer confidence.
There's a jump, but is it because it's a false narrative? What has also increased is the trillions and trillions of dollars of credit card debt.
Yes,
Are people living off of credit?
They are. A lot of people are. And guess what? Credit, the nature, by definition, credit is a problem for later.
Sure.
I'm going to take your money now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and agree to pay interest on it, but I'm going to pay you back later and over time. So you're leaving the headache for later. But in the moment, you feel great.
By the way, full disclosure, the Mares household right now, we probably have me and my spouse, we probably have the highest credit card debt that we've had ever. Why? I'm taking advantage of the zero balance transfers, low interest, teaser 1%, 2% interest for a period of year. But it's all strategic. I'm doing it knowing that I must. And I have dates on my phone and in my office calendar when I have to pay off this debt.
So and the difference between you and almost every other person in America who's using debt to pay for stuff is, what are you spending that money on, Jose?
Investments.
Reinvestment.
Fixed properties, flip certain houses.
Right.
I did buy my wife a nice piece of jewelry for her birthday on one of these, credit cards. And so yes. With that said, it's the highest I've ever. And I look at the numbers and I'm like, oh my God, who are you, Jose? Like, I don't feel comfortable with it, but there's a game plan and a strategy with it, and it will be settled.
And if I could take your thinking and apply it to all of America, I would.
Would be in a good place.
Would you imagine? Can you imagine everybody using their debt not to buy the freaking microwave or the TV or whatever you want to have in your house but don't need? Imagine everybody using their debt to create more wealth.
Sure.
That's a possible thing. You can leverage debt, and most people just don't see it like that.
Yeah, and it started with the knowledge of housing and equities and good rates. Like, put it this way, Ernesto, if the rates do drop, not drop, but if there is 6 rate cuts in 2024, I am a consumer and a customer right now. I need to refinance for sure 2, possibly 3 properties in 2024 because I don't like the rates that I have right now. And they're, one is 5.99. That's the highest rate. Actually, I have it on the one that's a little bit higher, but it's an investor type of loan. That being said, I am ready. I want 6 rate cuts, but let me give you my side of the token. I really believe that if that happens, it's going to create more chaos in our real estate world. Why? There's already a shortage of housing inventory, and that's with a 6.5, 7% rate today. 6.5, 7% rate.
7% conventional. You're looking at very low 6s on FHA.
Low 6s FHA. Okay, good. Okay, with that, there's already multiple offers on most great listings here in SoCal. What's going to happen if the rates do drop? Let's just say in the 5s, mid to low 5s.
Bananas.
It's going to go crazy again. There's not going to be there's going to be a shortage of inventory, too many buyers.
I think that'll also push out some sellers and say, okay, finally it's time to get out there.
For sure.
Right? But a lot more, I don't know that yet. I don't think so.
Well, I'll bring you the refi boom, and that's something to look forward to.
Refinance for sure.
Get the loan officers back to work and refinancing all the loans that they've done since mid 2022, 23, and into next year, right?
Yeah.
But with that said, I don't think it's a great game plan. Lower the rate too quickly when we already have a housing and a shortage of inventory. Yes, it's going to move the needle. Yes, buyers are going to get excited, but excited to do what? Go look at houses that they're going to have to compete and overbid and overpay.
It's kind of a sucky scenario when you look a few months into the future. If these rate cuts were to happen, you look at, oh my God, the buyer's going to say, wow, my payment is now $500 less than it would have been. Let's get out there and see if we can buy a house. Well, guess what? A lot of other people are going to be saying and feeling the same thing, causing competition, driving values up higher. So in the end, I guess, Jose, let me ask you the big $1 million question.
Yeah.
What is the real solution there? We talked about this on this podcast before. What is the solution that takes us long term? A healthier status, a healthier situation?
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you from my side.
Sure. I mean, my honest opinion, and it changes from week to week, month to month. I believe we have to create we have to have affordable housing, right? A lot of the stuff that's out there in SoCal is not really affordable compared to the salaries. So we need to create better employment opportunities.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the end. I don't know how do you solve that, right?
The way you solve that is you start saying, hey, 26. I just looked this out. I was like, wow.
Sure.
Once again, blown. My mind was blown. 26 people on Earth have as much wealth as half of the rest of humanity.
Good for them.
No, No, it's not good for them. No, I'm not one of those people who's going, it's not okay to be rich. It's great to be rich. It's great to be rich. I want a lot of people to be rich. That's not the point. There is a point at which you are taking food out of literal people's mouths in order for you to gain another damn dollar. How many billions is enough billions? 26 people all have more wealth. You got to take that wealth. I know people are going to call me communist and whatever the hell you want to call me. But there's a reality to it. Those dollars,
Sure.
if they're not distributed to the classes that are working, that are building your cars, all etc.
Who should distribute that? The government?
No, you know what?
Absolutely
In the best of cases, the employer should be distributing that
No,
money.
and I get it.
But the employers have gotten fucking greedy. Sorry for cursing, but they've gotten greedy, and they think it's okay to be
Think
greedy.
about probably the richest guy. I don't know.
Elon Musk is the richest guy.
Is that Amazon? Amazon, Jeff
I
Bezos?
don't know. They're fighting for it. Who cares? We're at $100 billion.
Has created a lot of jobs.
Sure,
Right or wrong?
sure. A lot of crappy jobs.
Elon has created a lot of jobs.
A lot of crappy jobs. Yes.
Yeah. But the bottom line is these crappy jobs, these people that are working are
Not a good
in
argument.
America.
It's not a good argument. I'm sorry. It's not a good argument. And this is what you and I were talking about a little bit before.
Yeah.
There's a dynamic between the way you and I talk. It's great that you're a job creator. Man, thank you for creating the job. But if you put your plant in a location where you're going to pay somebody $17 an hour, and let's say that their spouse makes $17 an hour, that's between two people. $17 an hour is about $34,000 a year. That puts you at 68 between the two of you. Can you, Jose, in Covina, where we're sitting right now,
Soca.
at 68, no, Covina for the moment.
Yeah.
At $68,000 a year,
buy a
can you
house.
do a crap? Can you do anything here?
No.
Can you even rent the $2,500 and feel like you're stable at $68,000 a year?
No.
But these are the kind of jobs that these two guys are creating. So at some point, you got to say to yourself,
What's the alternative? What's the alternative? Those
the
guys that
alternative
work,
is, Jeff,
hundreds of thousands of employees that are happily showing up to work every day, doing their job the best way they can.
happily is a term you're applying. Let's be clear about that. Not
Who's
necessarily.
happy to have a job. I mean, you have a job.
No.
Hey,
But are they happy with their pay? Here's the alternative. In my view.
you sure you're not a communist?
I'm 100% positive I'm not a
Just
communist.
kidding.
But here's the alternative. Jeff freaking Bezos, instead of prioritizing shooting his own ass up into space, says, I'm going to take those billions of dollars that it took me to get into space, and I'm going to pay my... What has happened, by the way, with Jeff Bezos' rocket venture? Did he take that and help the rest of humanity with it? No. He took himself and William Shatner into space, and that was it. That was his contribution.
What did
it have-
ever do to you, bro?
It's not what he's doing. I don't work for Jeff Bezos. But
By the way, I read somewhere that he's getting into the mortgage side of the business through Amazon.
God bless him. I'm sure he'll find a way to cheat.
Listen, I hear it. I believe he, just like SpaceX and the Boring Company, which Elon runs and is trying to develop to, tunnel under Southern California and other countries.
Yeah.
States, I'm sorry. They're out there. They're out there. What's the right word?
Innovating.
Innovating and creating. Who knows what it's going to lead down the road for humanity and jobs. I think you're being
I'm for it.
You're being too stern. Oh, it's a $17,000. It's a $17 a job, hour job. I get it. It's a start.
Look, I'm going to connect it. I'm going to make a direct connection.
Yeah.
When I get pre-approvals on my desk and it's an Amazon worker, I already know what they're going to get paid before I see their pay stub. I've seen enough of them. There are enough Amazon workers around here for me to know on average what they're all going to make. Now, guess what? It's not enough for them to afford to buy the houses where they want to buy.
But what is enough, Ernesto? What is enough? Take a LOA. Do they make enough?
So it's two answers. Let's go back to the original question. What is the solution to that? You touched on both of them. Create good job opportunities and create affordable housing. It's a two-step process.
Sure.
Both of those are going to take a good amount of time to change over.
And as you're at the entrepreneur job, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it starts with who?
Let me tell you.
Who's leading the state?
I'm gonna tell you whose job it is.
rates?
Let me tell you whose job it is. In order for the American worker to understand his own power.
I hope you got those eyes on him.
Let's go. In order for the American worker, whose job is it going to be? It's the worker's job to say, hey, I'm worth more than what you're paying me.
Absolutely.
And they got to do it in mass. You know who just did that? The United Auto Workers just did that.
Sure.
Negotiated massive raises that they were promised years ago. After the Great Recession, they were forced to sacrifice their income. Now they've got that income back, but very, very late after they were supposed to get it.
Yeah.
They sacrificed for the sake of saving those companies. Now those companies are making billions and billions in profit, and they've gone back and forcibly renegotiated contracts with those clients. The president of the UAW, Sean Fain, is now going after all of these ununionized automakers, all the Japanese automakers in the U.S., most of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to try and unionize them and unionize Tesla. So number one, it's the job of the worker to start saying, hey guys, that's enough. Pay me what I'm freaking worth, because what you're paying me now, I can't live on it. And it's okay for us to say that shit. It's okay for the worker to say that shit. And then it's going to become the job of the employer to say, guess what? My workers are worth more. That's okay to say. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the government has to step in and defend the worker because of course some owners and some employers are going to say like, no, I'm going to pay you what I think you should be paid, period.
Sure.
Right? It's okay to say. I think, there's nothing wrong with pushing on that right now because the wealth gap is so huge.
I agree with that. And you have to understand, there's corporate jobs, there's the C-suite type of jobs, right? There's the entry-level type of jobs. There's the what do you call the Amazon drivers? Is it just a driver?
Yeah. Amazon driver.
Truck driver type jobs, right? And then there's everything in between. There's the hospitality type jobs. There's different pay scales for every position.
For sure.
Right? So again, is it the entrepreneur who's putting his ass on the line, the Bezos, the Musk job to create that, you as a, leader or operation leader? Is it your job to create what that scale income is going to be for the future employee? I don't know. Depends on performance. It depends on resume. I don't know, a resume. It depends on your experience. Yes or no?
In part.
And it depends on experience. I believe experience, your resume, and what you bring to the table.
In part.
Okay, in part. But there's also entry levels for every single position. Right or wrong?
Sure. I don't understand where you're going with it. Does that mean that the employer has a lack of responsibility to take care of his workers, the people that are going to build the things that he's trying to sell?
Not at all. It's based on performance, right? It's based on the numbers, the data, the goals that are reached. You create you create the raises.
Let me tell you something. A person is not a cup. A person is not a computer or a widget. It's a person. It's a person. It's your number one asset in most cases, right? And you have to treat them like people. I don't know how to explain to some folks out there that don't get it that if you pay me $17 an hour and you feel like that's fair, but I go to the grocery store and it looks really, really unfair that I can't buy milk and eggs and bread and the basics for my family, there is no other way to see it in my mind but to say that is unfair. So adjust your business model. If you can't afford to do business in the area where you're trying to hire me, get your ass out of the business, because that's not a sustainable model. Never was.
Remember that we talked about the $12 burger.
Yes.
So you're saying all the burger places, the combos that are the number ones, pick whatever restaurant you want, In-N-Out, right? Yeah. McDonald's. I haven't been there.
The solution to the $12 burger was either make the burger cheaper or find efficiencies and convince the public that your product is worth what you're asking for.
But minimum wage in Southern California is how much? $16?
I think 17.
Right?
17.
There's a direct correlation of, one thing is affecting the other, which affects, like you said, when I go to the market, to the store.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to have $25 combos pretty soon.
Yeah. The
stadium prices down the street.
The crazy part of the American market is the people that you're paying the least, you're also asking them to drive the economy by spending every single penny that you pay them.
I agree. Taxes, my friend.
I don't mean that by taxes. I don't mean it taxes. I mean everything that you're asking them to spend on. It's like, here's your $17 an hour. Now I want it all back because that's what it's going to take for you to live. Come on, man. You just can't do that. People are tired.
I actually agree with you on this 200%. Okay, 2024. Let's switch it up a little bit.
Right on.
Are we heading... Yes or no question. Are we heading to a recession in 2024?
I think there's a decent likelihood that we're heading into a recession in 2024. I don't think it's going to be when people hear recession, they think, oh my God, massive unemployment, companies are going to fail, real estate's going to go down in value. I don't think any of that stuff's going to happen in this particular recession. I think the economy is going to slow down.
You say not crazy. Best case, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to see higher numbers of unemployment, but certainly, not certainly, but it's going to be within an acceptable amount. acceptable a relative term. I think we are going to start to see prices, the inflation of your average product out there is going to slow down quite a bit, hopefully. But otherwise, to be honest with you, I don't think the average American's going to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My answer to that question, are we heading to a recession in 2024? If you asked me this question 90 days ago, five months ago, absolutely. I see it. Something has to change. Right now, I'm optimistic. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. Clearly, the banks, the Fed seems to be optimistic. You mentioned Barclays and ING. They're very optimistic. They're very bullish on it. I don't think so. I think as a whole, there's a lot of hope brewing, and I think we're going to miss it. I hope so, at least. We need it.
If no matter how you slice it right now, as of what we know right now, if you're wrong, you're only slightly wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we do step into recession, it'll be mostly
I feel like we're already in
math. It'll be mostly a matter of math and not about how people feel out there.
Before we talk a little bit about Dad's house, I know you already mentioned Sean Payne. Did you want
Sean Payne. His name is Sean Payne.
Sean Payne.
Sean Payne.
Sounds like an actor.
President of the UAW.
Is there anything you wanted to add about the auto union workers?
Just, I only reiterate
Detroit.
They just renegotiated their contracts. I'm watching the UAW, and the president is not just talking about all the auto workers. He's coming after the billionaires, and he's straight up calling Elon Musk out. And he's not just calling Elon
Is it because he builds Tesla's vehicles?
It's because he pays his workers shit. That's why he's calling them out.
I don't know nothing about that part.
So he feels like, like Elon Musk is great. I don't know if you saw this, but Elon Musk told the president of Disney to go fuck himself, right?
Igor, I think it was?
I forget. There was the president of Disney. But I think it was him and a bunch of other people that he was really meant to say that to.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk's stance was, if X, Twitter, dies, everybody's going to know it's because the advertisers backed away and killed it.
Right.
No, fool. It's because your product sucked. And advertisers didn't want to get behind it anymore mainly because of your big mouth and arrogance. And so when you take a guy like Sean Payne and point him at a guy like Elon Musk, Sean Payne is over here representing tens of thousands of blue-collar workers. And they're sick of the Elon Musks of the world. So he's pointing himself directly at that guy and saying, you know what, brother, we're coming after you.
So you already told me how you feel about Bezos. How do you feel about Elon?
You have to respect Elon's amazing ability to innovate. And I think a lot of what he brings to the table is good for humanity.
Sure.
And there's great value in that.
Twitter is really good for uncensored content. And, remember the former president was kicked out of all the platforms. He couldn't talk, right? Elon then bought for $44 billion Twitter.
What's it worth now?
Probably half of that, right? The sponsors went away and, whatever. Okay. With that being said, I think Twitter is a good thing. What do you say? What do you think?
I think that Twitter continues to be if you talk to reporters are able to, get out in front of their clients really quickly that way. Mm-hmm. But there is like Elon Musk's stance is let everybody say what they want to say.
Sure.
You call it free speech, but in and among that speech is crap that is crap.
And
it's
hate.
just false
and hate.
Falsehoods.
Sure.
To include Elon Musk. Elon Musk retweeted some anti-Semitic stuff not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I think there is.
It cost them billions of dollars in advertising, I'm sure.
And he can say it because guess what? He owns the damn platform. He took it private. He took it from public to private. On balance, it's great that he innovates, but he's a horrible person. I don't know how else to put it. He's not a person I would want to say, hey, kids, that's the guy that you need to make your idol and try to grow up and be like him.
Yeah, see, and I don't have that view. I don't know enough to say that. Right, I think he just had a new book released. Top one of the New York bestsellers, if you will, right now. I'm actually interested. Maybe during the holidays, I'm gonna get that book. It's a big ass book. I'm gonna get into it, and then I'm gonna give you my honest feedback and opinion.
Let's go
on it. But with that said,
it's his book, so you're gonna come back and tell me how great he is because he told you how great he was.
No. Somebody wrote it for him, and I gotta assume they did some cross references and checking. And anyways, I'll give you my 2 cents on that. All right, describe 2023 in this industry. Mortgage, real estate, loans, whatever, in one word. 2023.
Hard work. 2 words. Hard work. 2023 was hard work. And if you didn't put in the hard work, I don't know where you are right now.
Yeah, probably not in the industry.
Probably not.
For me, describing the real estate and mortgage industry in 2023, chaotic. One word. It was very chaotic. There was a lot of ups. And when I say ups is, there was no ups.
No, there was no ups. I can point to a couple of ups. A couple of ups would be telling people the truth, like saying to, like, I've heard you say this to your staff over and over. 2023, before 2023 started,
last year,
you were already beating the drum. It's gonna be a hard year.
Yeah.
So you better get your ass, ready for it. You better get your ass moving.
My favorite line was that I love to say, I don't know where I heard it, so I could give him credit. Be ready to work twice as hard than you ever have previous seasons to make half the money.
Yeah.
And I think that's a true statement for 2023.
And some people took that and ran with it and made more money.
Yeah. There were some people that did very, very well. And there's some people that pivoted into other sides of the business. Sure. There's some people that are just out of business.
But what I like, the positive I'm telling you is like when you can tell people, hey, this is what you can anticipate next year, and this is how you can prepare to deal with it. That's a positive because guess what? If we step into 2024 and better rates and a more active real estate market, those people are all going to be all the better for it.
All right, so let's wrap it up with
2024.
2024 Dad's House podcast. And forget Dad's House podcast. I want to talk about Garcia's house. What are some things that you're looking forward to? Some challenges that you're doing for the family or vacations? I don't know. What do you got brewing for 2024 in the Garcia house?
So number one, COVID hit right when we had our trip to Costa Rica planned for my oldest. But that was going to be her 15-year-old present. When she turned 15, that was going to be her present. Now, fast forward, she's 18 and in college. And so we're all going to finally make the trip to Costa Rica for a summer vacation.
How long?
Hopefully. Probably going to do about 10 or 12 days.
And let me ask you about that. I see the way you vacation. I don't like the way you vacation.
Well, I know.
I don't like the way you vacation. And I'll tell you what I mean.
I already know where you're going.
Yeah. Let's talk about
We haven't spoken about this previously. I already know where he's going with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it reminded me what you said. Are you only going with the Garcia family household? Or are you traveling with like those 6 other families and the kids and grandmas and everybody? Like, you go entourage, bro. You go like deep.
Yes, whenever we vacation, it happens to be that we vacation with 2, 3, 4 families together. We did that because a lot of our kids were kind of growing up, at the same time. Yeah. And how much more fun can you have out there than with your friends and cousins out on vacation? And then all of us parents, we all get along. Can I tell you that?
Do you actually enjoy that, or does your wife make you do that?
I do enjoy it. It's my wife's family. But do I? I do enjoy it. Would I like to do 2 vacations?
Give me a wink. But you don't enjoy it, bro. You don't have the fun.
Would I like to do 2 vacations a year, one with and one without? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I honestly would. But it is. I can't say I don't have a great time. I always have a great time. So
has and again, I'm assuming it's a vacation. You're drinking alcohol in the pool and the beach. Discovering.
Sure.
Have you guys ever ran into a scenario where like a scenario where somebody got in a fight, you had to like babysit the wrong guy or
There's always that. There's always that.
Yeah.
But it comes with the territory. Then you just talk about it a year later. Remember when that idiot fell?
Showing photos and
We've had kids that have gotten very sick on us on vacation. We went to an island one time where there was like billions of mosquitoes, and I was the one. I was like, I hate this place. But repellent.
For the record, I don't think that I have 5 kids. So when we travel as a family, it's already it's already like a mini concert, with equipment and things that we have to travel and bookings, and so I avoid big travel vacations at all costs. I look forward to doing it once with like my family and my parents and maybe my wife's parents and something of that sort.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling that will end up like a movie. Not fighting, but like,
maybe
parents not talking to each other, and your wife said this.
It's not like you have to remember, like the people that we take with us. My wife grew up with them. Like
I got you.
So it's not like they don't know each.
Traveling in an entourage bus is not for Jose Mares, and we are not doing that in 2024.
What about your family in 2024? What are the big plans?
Yeah, a couple things. So I have 3 high schoolers right now. Today I have 2 juniors that are going to be seniors next year, and a sophomore. My goal and my plan is to start my own financial education class at home.
With them? Wow, nice.
With them. And it's going to be basically not, I'm not going to grade them, but I'm going to reward them. I'm going to have checking and savings accounts for them, and they're going to be able to keep it. Obviously, they got to still do chores and this sort of thing, but I'm going to push the limit on the books that they read, on the way they respond. I'm going to do like my own Toastmasters. They're going to have to give me my own, 3-minute presentation on some subject that I make them, study and cover and read, because I want them to have confidence, out of high school. So with that said, that's a big change that I'm going to implement. I wish I would have done that with Angelina, with the two older ones, better late than ever, I guess you would say.
You still have 3 out of 5 in the house.
That's I like those odds. I would be a Hall of Famer if I was a baseball player.
Yes.
Hitting in those routes. So with that, we do just on the way up here, Vanessa showed me our itinerary, our rough itinerary. It looks like we're going to travel to Italy this summer, right? And we are lucky where we do usually 2 trips. One with the kids, one husband and wife. I would never go with anybody else. With that said, the one, me and her, we're going to go to Italy, and during spring break with all 5 kids, if they're not working, we plan to go to Utah, and I want to visit Washington, D.C. I want to go to the monuments and do that. So spring break, that's what I'm looking forward to. So with that said, Dad's House Podcast. Are we going to try to do another episode before the end of the year? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we have 2 weeks from now. We can squeeze another one in, of course.
Some people take 2 weeks off, bro.
Not us, bro. Not us. This is real estate and loans.
We show up every day.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going to be here December 31st.
No. Christmas Day, I'm going to be right here. If you're not here with me, I'll be disappointed.
You're going to shoot on Christmas Day, huh?
No, hell.
Don't plan on me for that. All right, guys. I hope you like all of Ernesto's topics here.
Jose's looking at me cross-eyed.
Yeah.
And as soon as these cameras go off, he's going to call all of his friends and point, I got this commie bastard.
Let's get him out of the clip.
We got to target him.
He wants us to work for free, and I'm saying good for the 26 multi-billionaires or whatever.
Yeah, good for him to an extent.
I guess. All right, with that said, thank you guys for subscribe, like, follow, tag somebody that should be listening to us, and share this.
Drop your comments. Let's see. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'm good for both.
Call me Ernesto. And call me Jose. Bye, guys.